Hello friends, welcome back. Welcome to the CICD for Automation Testers course. So till now we talked on about CICD, about DevOps, about we created a small test automation frameworks, and about Git and GitHub. Okay, so we pushed our Selenium code onto GitHub. Now let us talk about continuous integration tool, a CI tool. So in market there are number of CI tools available. Out of that, Jenkins is quite famous, and since it is open source, it is mainly preferred by most of the organizations, and it is quite flexible due to lot of plugins. So let us start about Jenkins. So what and all I'm going to talk here is various CI tools available in the market, then what is Jenkins, install Jenkins, create new jobs, configure email server, and editable email notification. So I'm going to talk about these things, okay, and few more things I'll be talking about, like how we can create a dependable pipeline, and how we can create pipeline by using Jenkins files. I'm going to talk on those things as well, but at the few last sessions of this particular lectures, okay, because here I'm going to talk on some basics of Jenkins. Later when we will do some end-to-end integration, in that case I'll be talking on those things, okay. So if you are aware about Jenkins and all, then maybe you can skip these sessions, 3-4 sessions, and you can go to the next one. Now, what are the various CI tools available in the market? CI stands for continuous integration. So continuous integration is the process of integrating your works, or uh, fetching your work or testing your work continuously, where you will get the continuous feedback if whatever you have done is correct or not, or do they have any issues, so that developer can start fixing on it. So what are the various CI tools available in the market? So we have Jenkins, that's the quite famous one, mostly used by most of the organizations. Then we have TC, then we have Travis CI. TC stands for TeamCity. Travis CI, then we have Circle CI, but few of them, they are not open source. Since Jenkins is open source, it is mostly preferred by the organizations. GitLab, Bamboo is again one of the, and there are few more, there are many more. These are the quite majorly used. Out of that, Jenkins is mostly used since it is open source, okay. So I'll be talking on Jenkins only. Now, what is Jenkins? Okay, so Jenkins is a popular continuous integration tool used in DevOps. It allows continuous development, build, test, and deployment of the codes. Okay, so if you remember, I talked about continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment. Okay, so all those things, whatever the CI/CD pipeline, is completely achieved by using Jenkins. So Jenkins is a continuous integration tool. It helps you to integrate many things. Okay, when you do code check-in, like you can schedule jobs. Jenkins is basically to schedule the jobs, to schedule the builds. Okay, so it is a continuous integration tool used in DevOps to achieve CI/CD. Okay, and it can do all the things like triggering your jobs, doing your testing automatically, automating your deployments. Okay, so all those things can be done, achieved with the help of Jenkins. So Jenkins is a open source continuous integration server which is capable of orchestrating a chain of actions that help you to achieve continuous integration process. So chain of actions is nothing but your various processes, like once my build is successful, I want to perform testing. Once my testing is successful, I want to do some other type of testing. Once that type of testing is successful, I want to go for automated deployment, something like that. So chain of actions. So to achieve that chain of actions, to automate that chain of actions, Jenkins is used, which is my continuous integration tool. Okay, and Jenkins is it is entirely written in Java. So in order to work with Jenkins on your machine, you should have JDK installed, because it is written in Java, and it uses your JDK of your machine. Why Jenkins is more popular is because it is easily configurable, because it has a rich plugin ecosystem. Okay, you can do almost all the things with the help of Jenkins. Of course, you need to install a separate plugins for that, but that is within Jenkins itself. So if you go to Jenkins install plugin, you can find a number of plugins which can help, which can get your day-to-day life very much easier. Okay, so that is easily configurable, and it is platform independent. You can run it on any platform where Java works, right? Because it depends on Java. And it has a easy support. It has a huge market community, because most of the organization uses Jenkins. So you can find a rich market community from where you can expect the help on Jenkins. Okay, so this is little bit about Jenkins, and fine. Now let us see how we can download and install Jenkins. Okay, so downloading and installing Jenkins is pretty easy. So what you can do is, since I already have installed, I am not going to install it again. I'll just show you how you can do that. So if you just Google install Jenkins, the second URL or the third URL, jenkins.io/download. Okay, if you go to this URL, you will find uh, multiple options over here: LTS, long term supports, and weekly. So long term supports, normally people prefer this long term supports. And how you want to download, like do you want to download it, deploy it on Azure or any your cloud platform, or do you want to download it for Docker? So it will take you to Docker images. It will let you to pull Docker images. Or do you want to install it on Linux machines or Windows? I do want to do install it on Windows, so I'll just select Windows, and see, it will ask you to download something. Okay, so once you download this, it will download some. Okay, I'll not download this because I have already installed. So it will give you one setup file. Okay, and what you can do is you can install that setup file just as like your normal software. Okay, and once you are done with installation, what you can do is, let me cancel this download. Once you are done with installation, what you can do is you can go to localhost, because by default it will get installed on this port 8080. Okay, by default it will get installed on port 8080. So you can go to localhost port 8080 and you can hit enter. Okay, so I'm getting this screen. Okay, let me log out. Okay, so first time you may get this screen, or maybe something different where it will ask you to do a Jenkins setup. So select the options which are there by default, install whatever plugins it is asking to install by default, and proceed ahead. Then it will ask you for login. Okay, so first time, if it asks for you a secret password, then need not to panic. What you can do is you can okay, what you can do is you can go to your give me a second, you can go to your C drive. Okay, and go to program files, because initial password we are not aware about. We know initial username is admin. Okay, but initial password you can get it from this C drive, file 86 Jenkins, and here you can find some folder called as secrets. Okay, and here one file is there called initial admin password. Okay, so if you open this, you will find initial admin password. This is my password which I said, but if you do it first time, you will find some long password which is 18 20 22 byte long. Okay, so you can just copy that password and paste it over here. Okay, you just paste it over here and click on sign in. If you want, you can change that password. Okay, sign in. Now once you sign in, you will get UI like this. This is Jenkins dashboard. Okay, so if you works for any organization, they will have Jenkins installed on their own server, on any web server like Tomcat or Wampsphere, or any web server. It get installed and you can simply access it by URL. You need not to install in those cases. You can directly hit to the URL, there's Jenkins URL, log in with your credentials, and you will see this kind of dashboard. Okay, and here now initially what we do, initially I will install all the required plugins. As I said, Jenkins has a rich set of plugins. That's make it as top in the market. You can do almost everything with the help of Jenkins. Okay, so how you can install plugins, let us say what you want to do is you want to get the code from GitHub and then you want to run that code. Okay, that's the requirement. So for that purpose you need to have git plugin installed in your Jenkins. Okay, or let us say if you want to do static code analysis with the help of SonarQube, let us say, in that case you should have that plugin installed. Okay, I'll show you where you can find the plugin and how you can install the plugins. Okay, so on the left hand side if you go here you can find many options like new item, people, build history, relationship, fingerprints, manage Jenkins, views, credentials and all. Okay, so you have to go to manage Jenkins over here. Okay, and you can find lot many options over here: configure systems, configure global security, credentials, global tool configuration, manage plugin. So this manage plugin is something where we need to check. Okay, so just go to manage plugins and okay, so here on the top you can find few tabs: updates, available, installed and advanced. Okay, so if I go to installed, because I must have installed all the plugins which I wanted, let me check installed. Okay, so in installed, can you see here what and all plugins I have? Let me show you. I have some plugin for a Docker plugin, then I have something for Git plugin. Okay, so if you are doing it first time, you may not find these plugins over here. I have email extension plugin. Okay, and many plugins like Gradle plugin I have, JavaScript, Jira plugin I have, Jira trigger plugin. So I have installed most of the plugins which I wanted. Okay, so if you do not have plugins installed over here, what we can do is you can go to available. Okay, and let us say I want to install some plugin now. Let me see. You can just look out for the plugins which you want. Okay, but since I already installed whatever I wanted, I'm just looking if I can install any plugin. Okay, let me use this publish over FTP. Okay, so you can just search over there on the top, or you can just look out, you can just find it up by using Control F and publish over SSH. Let us say, just select that. Sorry, I should not go here. I should select that, and I should select over here, and I should install it without restart or after restart, depends on you. Okay, ideally we should do it install after restart. Okay, download and install after restart. Okay, so that's how you can install. Once you do this, the Jenkins will get installed automatically and you can restart your Jenkins, not the machine. You can restart your Jenkins. Okay, so to use GitHub, to integrate GitHub with your Jenkins, you should have this git plugin installed. Okay, this git plugin should be installed. Okay, so I have already installed this git plugin, so I'm not installing it again. Okay, and we need some other plugins as well, so whenever we need that, we'll come here time to time and we will check. Okay, so here we can install all the plugins. That's make Jenkins very rich. Now let me go to main dashboard. Okay, let me show you one more thing. If I go to manage Jenkins and if I go to manage users, let us say if you want to add any users, then you can go to manage users, and here you can find option to create user. This is myself, admin. Okay, if you want to add another users, you can just create user, enter their details and create users. You can do that. Let me go to manage Jenkins. Let me show you some other things as well. What else we need? Let me go to configure system. Let us see what and all is there. Okay, I have done this sonar cubes setting. I'll let you know how we can do that and why I have done that. Sometime whenever we will go through this sonar cube static code analysis. Uh, what else? Okay, for this email notification, let us say if you want to trigger build ad, like once the build is trigger, if you want to send an automatic email notification, like okay, these are a test case passed failed or something like that. If you want to send automatic email notification, okay, so for that purpose you need to have this email configuration done. Okay, your mail configuration done. If you're working in organizations, they must have done by themselves. You need not to do these things, but if not done, then you can go to this your dashboard, Jenkins dashboard, go to configure, and you will find options to configure your email notifications. Okay, for me, I'm just using this Gmail server. So you need to enter your SMTP server, which is for Gmail, it is smtp.gmail.com, my Gmail username. Make sure that you check on this SMTP authentication. Then my Gmail password, you need to use SSL. Without SSL it will not work. Then the default SMTP port is 465. Remember to use this 465. And reply to address, you may or may not enter, not required. Okay, this is the only configurations which you need to do: SMTP server smtp.gmail.com and SMTP port 465, and then give your email ID and passwords from which you want to send that specific email. Okay, so once you are done, you have the option to test the configuration by sending test email. Okay, if you check in here and if you enter some email ID over here, and just you can test the configuration if your automatic email gets sent, I mean this configuration works. Okay, you can do that. Fine. So this is the email configurations which you need to do. Let me go to manage Jenkins again, and what else? Configure global security. Okay, here I do not have anything to do. Let me go to manage Jenkins again, and we have something called as configure credentials. I'll go there. Before that, I'll go to global tool configurations. So in Jenkins I'll be using many tools. Like I need to use JDK, I need to use Maven, I need to use let us say SonarCube. So I'll be using many tools. Okay, so I need to configure those tools, and those are under this. Let me go here. Sorry. Okay, so here you can add, like if you want to add any Docker installations, you can add Docker installations. If you want to add a Maven installation, see I have already added my Maven installations. Okay, I'll talk on this how you can do that. If you want to, if you're using Ant as a build tool, then you can add Ant installation. SonarCube, you can do that SonarCube installation. I have already done that for me. Like if you are using any tools, you need to do that by you need to configure, you need to provide the details of those tools over here, right? JDK installations, you can see I have given JDK installations. Okay, so the very first thing what you need is JDK. To run any Java projects, you need JDK, or even to run Jenkins, you need JDK. But if you are triggering any builds, Maven builds, or any test cases, then you should have JDK configured. Okay, and so how you will configure your JDK? Just click on add JDK and give the JDK name over here, and you need to give the Java home path, right? So if you go to, sorry, so if you go to environment variables, edit environment variables, and if you look for Java home, okay, Okay, here it is, Java home. So for Java home you can find it is C drive, program file, Java, JDK 1.8.151, right? So this is the path which I need to give over here, which is my Java home. Okay, so that's thing I have done. So this is how you can configure your JDK into your Jenkins. If you are not sure, you can just click on this install automatically, just select the version, it will get installed automatically. But since JDK is installed almost in all the machines, you can just give the JDK name and Java home path. Fine. If you are using and since for git it configures automatically, takes the default path and default .exe, so we need not to do anything with git. But you okay, and for sonar, I'll talk about this sonar cube scanner later. Let me talk about maven. Okay, again for maven, see, maven is my build tool and which is the heart of my maven project, right? The pom.xml. So to trigger that pom.xml, Jenkins will look for this maven setup. Okay, and how to find it? Again you can go to your environment variables and look for this maven home. Okay, so for maven home I have C Apache maven bin. Okay, so my maven is present in C Apache maven. Okay, so you just need to give the path of your maven repository, maven folders. Okay, so now I have added JDK, I have added maven, docker I don't need. I'll talk about this sonar cube later. Fine, so these are just the tool configurations. I have just given the location of my tools, Java and JDK and maven. I hope that makes clear. I'll go to dashboard again. Fine, so I'll stop this video here, and in my next video I'll show you how we can create a new job and how. Okay, before I close this video, let me show you something. Let me go to credentials over here. Okay, so if I go to credentials, okay, if I go to credentials over here, then you can find I already added some credentials, or let me go to here, Jenkins, and manage Jenkins, and here at the bottom you will find somewhere credentials, where it is top itself, it is configure credentials. Okay, so here you can add credentials. Give me a second, sorry, we cannot go from here. To go to credentials, only credentials, and you can find I have added some credentials. Okay, so if I click on this, so I have used this credential for my git project. Okay, so if you want you can delete, update, move. Let me go back, and you can find options for adding credentials. So if I click on add credentials, okay, so let us say why I am adding credentials here is to access my github. Okay, my github repository has username and password. Okay, so to access that github code, I need I need to save username password of that github onto my Jenkins, so that Jenkins will use this username and password to get the code from github, right? So that's the reason I need to add this credential. That's about github, but there might be many other situations where you need credentials for those systems. Okay, in that case as well you need to add the credentials. So you have many options. Either you can enter a secret file, secret text, certificate, or docker or certificate authentication, or username password. So based on your need, what and all you need. Okay, so I just need username and password. So my username, I'll enter my username, I'll enter my password. Okay, whatever I need. Okay, so let us say for git, whatever username I have, so some my Gmail ID and my password, I'll enter here. I'll click on okay. Okay, so that credentials will get saved. Okay, and we can use those credentials while configuring, while fetching the data from github, so that we can execute that code. Okay, I'll show you that in next session. Okay, so I'll stop over here. Thank you.